that we had another voice today, Mike. It wasn't just you and I. There wasn't that blank spot to begin with.
That first 20%.
That first 20%, that's right.
Did you guys figure it out okay? Who would say their name first last time?
There was a blank spot. So glad that you listen to the podcast when you're not on it.
That's right, I didn't.
Yes, correct. Otherwise, you would have heard us making fun of you the first 15 minutes.
I figured there was nothing worthwhile if I'm not there.
So today we're going to be talking about the Orville, but because that show sucks, we're going to pause real quick and talk about the news that you told me, which I'm super excited about, and I don't know if Mike knows, but Deadpool 3 and Hugh Jackman coming back as Wolverine for Deadpool 3.
Yeah, I did know that.
You did know that?
Yeah.
Yes.
They had like a
TikTok
Twitter
video,
whatever.
and then they had a Twitter video.
It was posted to Twitter originally. Yeah.
Yeah.
The first video?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought the first video was TikTok, second one was Twitter, and the Twitter video, the second one, they then talk about how Hugh Jackman is still alive or Wolverine.
Yeah, they originally posted the Twitter, then it was on TikTok, and then they posted the follow-up video too.
Yeah,
Isn't it supposed to be before Logan, though?
No. Yes and no. Like, in the sense of, they are going to come up with a story for it, but there's nothing out there that says it has to be. It could also be him dying in the grave at the end of Logan, and then Deadpool time jumping. If you remember, he got that device from Cable at the end of Deadpool 2.
It'll take place before.
Like, it could be right then as he's in the ground.
I was going to say,
pull
like,
him up.
Professor Xavier, it's like 10 years in the future. They have like a big time span that they can have. Like Logan's supposed to take place in like 2035 or something.
Well, the issue is that both Logan and Deadpool right now don't take place in the MCU. So when Logan died, that's not the MCU as we know it. That's a different universe, the Fox Marvel universe. So technically, that never happened to the whatever Wolverine that we're going to see within the MCU.
Unless they decide it did.
Correct. But right now, they haven't.
It didn't happen unless it did.
Right?
It's Padlov's fucking...
Well, it's
Are you talking about the cat? Oh, no, that's Schrodinger. The Padlovs.
Oh, no, yeah, Schrodinger's cat.
He meant Schrodinger's cat.
I knew what he meant.
Yeah.
But yeah, Schrodinger's cat. You don't know if it's
what
dead
about
or
padlocks?
alive.
Padlock's dogs.
Right. But no, the fact that they're doing this is fantastic, and I think we've all wanted it, and I think that's one of the reasons they did it, especially now that Disney owns it. It's one of those movies that you should do together, and if you do it within the MCU, it's going to be, I think, their first, unless they do another one ahead of time, it's supposed to be their first R-rated movie, too, in the MCU. So,
can't wait for their first X-rated movie.
I mean, I'm sure that we'll eventually go down that road. Why not?
I know. How is Deadpool 1 not R-rated?
Deadpool 1 is.
Okay, so how is it not their... Okay, because they...
Not
Disney
in the
didn't
MCU.
own you.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's the Fox MCU characters, because technically
Did they
Deadpool is part
own
of
it when it
X-Men.
was Deadpool 2?
No, they only bought it after, like a couple years after that, and then they also, I'm pretty sure that's the reason they released Once Upon a Deadpool, which is Deadpool 2, just PG-13. They literally take out all the swears, but like one fuck and three shits.
I don't think it had to do with Disney buying it. I think that was done beforehand.
I thought it was after Disney bought it that they decided, hey, let's go make more money.
I don't think so.
Either way,
Yeah.
Disney most likely could do a same thing again for Deadpool 3 and continue that trend of re-releasing it for PG-13 for kids.
Yeah.
But why?
Because it makes money. Because kids can then go see it. But at least we still get our real version. The R-rated version, which is what all Deadpool movies should be.
See, there's your problem right there. I'll take Ollie to the R-rated one.
Well, I'm happy for you, but other ones won't. Like, movie theaters have gotten in trouble before because parents, Jesus. The parents didn't understand. I remember
You're
going
from
to see...
Milwaukee.
I remember going to see Deadpool 1 and having families get up and leave because they didn't understand what kind of movie it was gonna be.
Well, that's fucktardy of them.
I agree. And then there was even a sign at the movie theater that said Deadpool is not a it's not a movie for kids. You know, this is an R-rated movie. This isn't like the normal MCU movies that you see.
Wasn't that the intro to one of them?
So-
Ryan Reynolds walks out and is like, seriously, why do you have a kid here?
Yeah, so at one point after they had that controversy, they started adding this clip in at the beginning of the Deadpool movies where Ryan Reynolds would come out and explain to if there's any parents that have kids that don't know what they're getting themselves into in the theater, I need you to understand this is an R-rated movie. This isn't a PG or PG-13 movie. I'm going to prove it to you right now if you don't get your kids out. And then he's like, guess what, kids? Santa's not real.
Yeah.
And does that whole thing and...
Ruined it for me.
Whose lap have I been sitting on?
Mine. I'm going to keep in the dead silence right there, by the way, because it's just perfect. Okay, so
It's
to
not
me,
that great.
it was. My lap or the silence?
Both.
How dare you? But yeah, that's some of the biggest news that I'm surprised that wasn't announced at the D23 conference, and it was just announced a couple weeks after. So
Yeah.
I'm very happy that it came about, but I'm surprised it wasn't done on a bigger stage than Twitter or TikTok.
Well, I think that fit because they've done videos like that back and forth to each other before.
Absolutely.
Like being in his bed and all that stuff. And
Yeah, for their birthdays, and they had prank wars.
I think it fit 100%. That's the way it should have been announced.
I'm just surprised Disney allowed it. Let's say it that way.
I think Disney has accepted Deadpool's an R-rated movie. I'm surprised Disney was allowing that, but I think they pretty much said, hey, this is going to make us a lot of money. Let's just let them do it.
Yeah, just let them do their thing.
Because
It's
look at
basically
Fox.
the number one R-rated grossing movie of all time. I think the first one came right below Passion of the Christ, and then the second one went by Passion of the Christ.
Yeah.
It made more money than Jesus.
Yep.
All right.
Well, he was just a carpenter, though. So
That's fair. And if you got holes in your hand,
I mean, technically, they both rise from the dead, right?
one never dies. Like, I don't think Deadpool's ever been dead.
Well,
His name is literally Deadpool.
I understand, but I mean, it's not like a vampire who dies and then comes back to life at any point.
Do we know that Jesus is?
Not a vampire or not a Deadpool type mutant?
Yeah.
Jesus is a mutant. That's going to be the headline of this podcast.
cancel.
I know. The Vatican comes after us. Where did you get these facts?
I like how you said facts.
Oh, yeah. This is real. We know. Tin hat.
All right. So to me, again, that's the biggest news. So we started with that. So now let's talk about the show that you guys both like. We've gotten 3 seasons of it, right?
Yes.
3, and then I know Seth MacFarlane wants to do a 4th, but we'll talk about.
Do we count New Horizons as the same thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. They just added
the
a little
tagline.
Yeah. I mean, it's
'Cause
literally the same show, same characters, same kind of.
It just moved away
arcs.
from Fox to Hulu, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
the only, I guess, like difference in the sense of airing it.
More CGI.
Did it have more CGI?
Seemed like there was a lot more battles that you see.
Yeah, that's true. There's probably more space battles, isn't there?
Yeah.
I don't know. There was like the end of season 2, I think it was, when they fight the
Kalon?
Kalon, yeah. They had a lot of CGI in that, but I think the difference I noticed in the 3rd season is that they have more variety in the ships. So like the Union fleets in like
The Union
season
fleets
2
are all
was
the
like,
same. No, they're all the same thing.
no, in season 3 they actually had little deviations, and like Isaac looked better, like he had a better costume and stuff.
That is the one thing I don't like about Orville is that the Union ships are like cookie cutter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. I'm sure that I don't know what spaceships are going to look like in the future, but like, look at the spaceships that we have now. Like, they don't all look exactly the same.
I mean, most of the rockets look the same.
No, look at like the Blue Horizon and the SpaceX one. They
Yeah,
don't-
the Blue Horizon should just be called the Chode, because it just looks like a little stubby dick. And then
they don't. Yeah, they are long cylindrical tubes, and that's really where like they look alike. Like the ones in Orville look exactly the same, except some are bigger.
well,
Might be cheaper to do it that way than.
Oh, I'm sure. That's what I'm saying. Like I think in season 3, you actually see a variants of some of the ships.
Yeah,
it
that's
was
what I'm
probably
saying.
cheaper too, CGI wise, to just
Yeah, we'll just make this one a little
copy
bigger.
paste,
Yeah.
copy paste.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
make this one a little
that's probably
bigger.
why they ditched Fox and moved to Hulu, and Hulu was like, "We'll give you money because we have
I
no
don't
good
know if
original
they
content."
ditched Fox, and also Fox and Hulu are owned by the same company, Disney.
Yeah, but Hulu has a different budget to work with.
I'm sure, but I'm fairly certain it was Disney / Hulu that made. Nah, we don't want you on Fox anymore. We're gonna bring you over to Hulu.
Yeah.
You make more money on network TV than you do streaming. Like advertiser wise, because there's not really advertisers on. There is on.
Right, they're probably making room for like different primetime shows.
Football. Most of the time it's football. Most of the time any network does anything, it's usually football related. They will drop so many shows even if you like them, and they were getting good viewers to come up with the money that they can air football because football brings in stupid ad dollars.
That's why Brooklyn Nine-Nine got canceled.
Yep. And then got thankfully picked back up by, was it ABC or NBC? I think it was NBC. Peacock. Right? Pretty sure. Sounds right.
Yeah, for some reason I
Is
thought it went
Peacock
to
NBC?
streaming, but
Yeah, Peacock is
Peacock
NBC.
is NBC.
No shit.
And then Paramount is CBS.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah,
I remember
Paramount,
seeing like
CBS.
the
The logo
thing,
with the
yeah.
peacock. That's
No-
what their
no,
logo
it makes
is.
sense.
Yeah. Why is it called peacock? It's okay, Mike. It's fine.
I don't know. I thought it was like
Just
Katy
a
Perry owned it or something.
No. So let's ask the question about this show. Were you guys expecting it to be like in the first season, the first 5 episodes, have a couple comedic moments, but it's not overly funny? Were you guys expecting a funny TV show because it's Seth MacFarlane? Or were you guys expecting a space adventure like a Star Trek?
So, having seen some Seth MacFarlane interviews prior to the show, I thought he probably sold it to Fox as a comedy, but really just wanted to make a new Star Trek.
So you knew about this show before it aired?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was excited for it because basically there hadn't been a good Star Trek show since Next Generation in my book. So
Okay. And what about
I don't really like Voyager.
What about you, Mike? Did you know this show was coming out?
I literally started watching it this year.
Oh, okay. So you definitely didn't know.
No.
Okay. Yeah, because almost every season has been like almost, 2 years since the next one airs? It hasn't been like year after year.
Yeah,
After
a year and a half probably at
Right.
least. Yeah.
What hooked you on this show? If you've just recently watched it, he was hooked. It sounds like Corey was hooked before it even
Corey
started.
was hooked on the gelatinous blob.
It's true. He didn't even know the gelatinous blob was coming. He just like heard space and went nuts. But for you, who
Space
just
nuts.
for you who just watched it this year, what hooked you about the show in general to keep watching?
Corey said it was good.
Was that the only reason?
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
watched it and it was good.
Corey has too much sway.
I mean, I like
Oh,
space
baby!
stuff. I like space stuff. Some of the stuff that he likes, I don't like. Like I don't like a lot of the DC shit.
Well, you like the DC.
Wait, whoa. What do I like that's DC? What do you mean?
Like comic movies.
Oh, like the animated ones?
Yeah.
Oh, not all of them are good, but there's a lot of good ones. Like Doom is really good, and War is really good, where they fight Darkseid.
Yeah.
That one. No. Well, let's put it this way: I like it better than the live action shit that sucks.
That's true. I hate Superman though.
How do you hate Superman?
He's just too Superman. I
He,
don't know.
he
it's
doesn't
just-
he doesn't like him because it's the new 52 version of Superman, where he's like kind of less. I'm a golden boy and more like I'm a badass and don't mess with me, and he's kind of overpowered a little bit.
Well,
so.
let me ask this question. Do you mean in the animated movies that you don't like him, or
Yeah,
just in
Sup-
general you don't
animated
like
s-
the character?
Animated Superman is just, I don't know. He's,
Too OP?
yeah.
Yeah, they did kind of buff him up in New 52, and then like him and Wonder Woman hook up first before he gets with Lois eventually. So, I mean, he's less of a farm boy and more of like I'm a god from another planet, so bow down.
What is that? The Invincible.
Yeah,
The dad in that basically was.
I mean,
like a
he's
god.
not like that, but
I'm just saying he's a god, and my wife is like a dog. She's a pet.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Hopefully, when that one airs and we get to season 2, we'll make Mike watch that because I don't think you've watched Invincible season 1 yet. But
Oh wow!
if
yeah,
you get through
definitely
the
should.
first episode, which will be the hardest, you will love the show.
Yeah,
You have to get through the
I
first.
told
episode.
him, I was like, you have to watch the whole episode. And he was like, I feel like you texted me 15 minutes in, like, this sucks. And then he called me when it ended. It was like, all right, that
I was like,
fucking sick.
holy fucking shit.
Yeah.
All right, I'm all in. Let's
All
do
right,
it.
so since KJ has recommended it, I will not watch it.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
If it helps, Corey recommends it also?
Well, to be fair, yeah, I recommended it to him. So this is a recommendation from Corey that he just happened to agree
so you've
with.
lost 50% of your sway.
Oh,
He lost 50% of his sway, and he's only 20% of the podcast.
Oof. Yeah, so that's a 10% recommendation.
All right. So, what about the Orville? What are your favorite characters? What are your characters? I know yours is a blob.
no,
But-
it's not. It's really not.
So, what are your favorite characters, and what characters were you happy that they either tweaked throughout the seasons or got rid of?
I like. Isaac is cool just because it reminds me of Data from Next Generation, and
Right.
and I loved Data.
I feel like that's
so
what they're going for,
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
He's like the science officer.
It's
like-
a little bit of a parody, obviously. Like
What does Data do on the...
he's the pilot. What do you call it? Like navigator.
No shit.
I mean, he has various roles, I think, throughout the whole show.
That's what I thought.
Who's the guy that lays an egg?
Bortis.
Bortis.
That's who I was gonna say.
Yeah, Bortis
Bortis
is
is
one
the
of my
one that
favorite
makes
characters.
always reminds me of like Worf. Well,
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean.
When you said about
it's a
the
bit of a
parody.
Yeah.
It
So,
definitely seemed that way.
yeah. Bortis, I like too. Now, how much did you actually watch?
I watched like 5 or 6 episodes.
So I
of
don't
the
know
first
what you
season.
got to. One of my favorite.
You didn't watch season 2 or 3?
No, even though I
Oh,
know
those
they
are-
get better, I couldn't
Those are
get through the
better
first
ones,
season.
Yeah. So
I didn't care.
Bortis I like because his species has evolved because their planet is so arid and nothing grows that they can eat anything and get sustenance.
So yeah, so,
So
they
they,
just
like,
start
give him,
giving him shit like,
glass
shoes.
and
Yeah.
stuff. And he
It's
just
like-
sits there.
Yeah.
It's great.
I'm digesting a boot.
Yeah. Bortis so Bortis has a lot of cool storylines down the road that are kind of politically based. Like that always happens in Star Trek too, but like because they're an all
Women
male,
don't have the right to anything.
exist.
Yeah.
Basically, they surgically correct them because they're an all male society. So there's a whole thing about it's basically reference transgenderism, and like it's a whole episode about that, and it comes up again down the road. So, yeah. So Bortis is cool. Isaac is cool. I kind of like the dynamic between Kelly and Ed, but over time it kind of degrades to just being like, that's not really relevant anymore. No one really cares that they were married. So, but I think that's again how he sold it as being like a funny show. Is this captain has to
Like a bit of a rom-com.
right? Oh, he's got to be with his ex-wife. How funny is that?
That is how it came off in the first couple episodes,
Yeah.
and I rolled my eyes.
I think
was like,
I think the whole first season, I think, was him getting his foot in the door with the studio to then be like, yeah, we're gonna pivot and yeah.
And what about you, Mike? Is there characters that are your favorite, or ones that you like that they tweaked or got rid of?
I think is it Gordy?
Yeah, the pilot Gordon.
Pilot? Yeah, I think
Yeah.
he's my favorite.
Yeah, I do like Gordon quite a bit.
You took my leg!
I know the prank war with him and Isaac was great. Like puts googly eyes on Isaac, right? And then his rebuttal is cutting off his leg while he's
Yeah,
sleeping.
surgically extracts his leg.
That seems fair to me.
Haha, gotcha.
No,
He has
I-
to like grow it back, and he has like this like little like baby leg.
yeah, I know. I like him, and I don't know. Trying to think. Like, I liked the Chilean girl, the security officer, but she dated Seth MacFarlane in real life, and then they broke up, and her character left the show. So
Oh,
I'm sure those things weren't related. And then it turns out in season 3, you know,
She comes back as like
for like an episode, but you know, Charlie, the one who was like a genius and could navigate, the blonde girl they introduced in season 3 that hates Isaac.
oh yeah.
Yeah, so she dated Seth MacFarlane,
And then
now
they
she's
kill-
dead. Like,
Yeah,
so
they
apparently,
kill her off.
don't date Seth
I know.
MacFarlane?
I
Is that
think
the...
Adrian Palicki or whatever, the one that was in like Agents of Shield, the one that plays his ex-wife.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I feel like she's purposely not dated him for that reason.
Like, yeah, maybe we'll flirt, but we won't actually go through with it.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that it should have a season 4 at this point?
Yeah.
Did it end on a point where
It
if
could have
doesn't-
ended. the where they ended it, it could be the end. Like they could not make a season 4, and if they do, great. Like I would like to see a season 4, but where they ended it, it could have been.
Well, no, I
over.
think season 4 would be them squaring up with Bortus's race and the God, I forget what all the races are called. The snake people,
The Krill, or
yeah, the Krill, yeah.
What do you mean by squaring up with?
Like the Krill and Bortus's race are like against the Union.
Mocklins.
Yeah, Mocklins. So the Mocklins and the Krills have like united against the Union, and we don't really see
and the Kalon, because the Kalon are now like allies with them.
Right. So that's what I mean. I think there's a dynamic there where there's still a power struggle in the galaxy and stuff. So
Yeah, but I mean, they kind of like blow up the
they
base
blow up
there.
they blow up the research station, but like that doesn't stop the rest of those races from. I don't know. Anyway, I like the show, so I want to see more. But
Right.
it's also one of those things. Like I haven't gone back and watched Strange New World really. Like I think I only got to episode 4, but
I liked it.
I didn't really like the show that came out before that. What was that called?
Discovery.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan. Like I watched it, but I don't know, couldn't buy into it. So this is like the most Star Trek-y show that's out right now, in my opinion. Like old school Star
Stranger
Trek.
Worlds is really good.
Yeah, I did like it, but I just kind of fell off of it. It's one of those things, like if I can't binge it, sometimes I'll forget to go back and watch the next episode when it comes out and stuff.
We are definitely a binge type of culture right now.
Yeah.
Where, although Netflix is talking about going away from that model, by the way.
Well, they need to get more subscribers.
That's what they want. They want people to not just get their thing for a month, binge everything they want to do, cancel it, then come back a year later. They want them to keep it up for months on end.
I mean, maybe it's just spitballing here, but they could keep some of the new content they start instead of canceling it.
Well, no, I don't even think that's their problem. That is a problem. Their other problem is they just put out garbage. So much garbage.
They've had good shows that they're like, we cancel it.
I'm sure, but they also put out like 500 new TV shows a week.
That's the problem.
I just said that. They're putting out too much. Rather than just focusing on like 10 or 20 that they can make perfect, which will keep people around. Like if you actually thought about it and you had 10 or 20 good shows and you were every 2 weeks you were releasing a brand new series or a second season of a new series. So maybe you need like 15 shows, but every 2 weeks or every week you're releasing a new one the whole season. That'll keep people around. But if you're just going to go around and cancel them and just release 200 garbage shows, it puts you in a position where you're at now where you keep hiking the prices. But anyway, back to the Orville, I guess. So, told you guys are going to have to lead this one. So feel free to talk amongst yourselves about the Orville.
I mean, I feel like giving it 5 episodes of like the 30 episodes that are out is not a very good shake, but...
How many people start watching a TV show if they're not already hooked on something? Like a Marvel show, we're going to watch regardless. A Star Wars show, we're going to watch regardless.
I mean, regardless.
But meaning like if it's bad, like you're going to watch She-Hulk. You already are.
Yeah.
So
She-Hulk's
he's not a giant fan of She-Hulk.
So,
but
jeez.
Yeah, I'm in the other boat too.
Yeah.
Anyway, but if there's a new show, like say there was Umbrella Academy that you hadn't watched yet, but you didn't like the first 3 episodes, you're going to keep watching it?
If I'm doing a podcast on it, yeah.
I mean,
you're part of a talking nerdy in the bedroom.
I mean, you didn't
podcast.
come to the movies with Corey and I to see Super Pets?
Because I have a life.
No, you don't.
I do. I have 3 children that I can't...
We could have brought one of them who would have loved to see that movie.
For the first 10 minutes.
Maybe 15.
Right.
We could have been with the other kids.
And you guys went on a Sunday and literally didn't even tell me that you were going.
Yes, we did.
Nope.
There's a text. I will show you the text after this podcast.
See it?
I will get it out as soon as this podcast is over.
Put your nuts in your mouth.
I don't know why I'd have to put my nuts in my mouth, but all right. But anyway.
No, you put your nuts in his mouth.
Done. But anyway.
I don't know who won that exchange.
You get to watch, so
okay.
I mean.
Get to record.
That's fair. TikTok. But anyway, feel free. Discuss Orville.
So, I mean, I like Pop Secret personally more than Orville Redenbacher, but that's just me.
Does
also,
Orville,
I think... I think the show was very good.
Was very good.
You guys are the only ones who think that.
We're the only ones in the universe who think it's good.
Us and all the people that gave it a 9 point something on
Not in the first fucking season. Let me ask this question. If I jumped right to season 2, would I miss anything important in season 1?
Well, yeah, you wouldn't know who the fucking people are.
I watched the first 5 episodes.
Oh, I don't remember what happened. Like, I watched season 1, like you said, it's
6 years ago?
Yeah, well, maybe like 5, but yeah.
So, but thinking about it pragmatically, if I jump to season 2, is there anything I'd be like, shit?
I'm pretty sure you don't see the raising of the kid, Bortus's kid. That's...
it's not Tupac. What is his
Tupac?
name? Tupa? Koopa? Poopa?
Yeah. Something like that.
Tupa, right?
Yeah.
Topa.
Like,
that happens in season...
His name is Tupac Shakur.
Yeah,
what?
she comes back.
Yeah.
A bunch of times.
In what, season 1?
And 3?
Well, sure,
1,
but
2, and 3?
I'm just saying, if I jump to season 2 and watch season 2 and 3, which are rated so much higher than season 1, would I be missing out on anything?
Yeah, everything from season 1.
Yes, that was bad, according to all the critics.
Hold on, let me
Critics are
see
stupid.
what happens at the end of season 1 before I confirm.
Because I don't know where 1 ends and 2 begins.
Because I might do that, because I thought about doing that to begin
It's
with.
too late now. It's the podcast started.
Doesn't mean I
here.
can't watch it and then either say you guys are still wrong because it's awful, or I was wrong and it's actually good.
I think the best stuff is in season 2. I think you could probably skip ahead. There might be a couple episodes where you reference back or you wouldn't know what was going on, but
All right, then most likely I'll end up skipping, and I'll give season 2 a couple episodes. We'll see what happens.
I don't care.
Same.
You care a little.
No, you're one of those people who get really entrenched and it's impossible to change your mind, so it's fine.
I mean, if a show's bad, a show's bad. That's just my opinion.
I understand, but my point is, like, you don't change your opinion like very easily. So it
has to be proved to me to
Yeah.
change my opinion. You can't prove a show is good if I consider it bad.
Yeah, but
by watching
but I
it.
also like, so you said nobody watches the show and it's bad, which is obviously not true. Otherwise,
Well, that
it
was
wouldn't
also
exist.
hyperbole.
I get it, but
then you can't get it. You can't say you get it and then argue against it.
Because in your mind, I honestly think you believe that anyone who likes the show is wrong.
No, I think if a show gets canceled
Look,
after
I got him nodding
after
across the
one
table.
season, like Firefly, it's a bad show.
So now you're changing the subject
No,
to a
I-
show that didn't. make
Firefly
I'm
is
just
literally a good show.
yes, that's why I got one season. Yes, it's so good. So many people
There's
watched
never
it.
been a show that was canceled before it should have been canceled, in your opinion.
None that I think are a good show, because
okay.
one season isn't enough time to.
So if a show has
that.
lots of seasons, it's therefore good.
Yeah, like Law and Order.
Yeah.
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 Law and Order's great.
Young and the Restless.
But that's a soap opera. It's a little bit
Oh,
different.
but it's got lots of
I
seasons.
don't even know if it's called a season. They air constantly.
So Lost's best season, it must have been really good after season 2 because it lasted forever.
It was fantastic after season 2. They
you
just
see
kept
how
adding
you are? Yeah, I
series.
can see you're accepting you're wrong.
No, some as we've talked about with Supernatural, like after season 5, it fucking went downhill. It was still watchable, but it went downhill. There are some shows that once you have a set story, if you play out that story and then keep going, there's no reason to. Like Prison Break, season 1 is pure, almost perfection, and then season 2 goes down quite a bit, and the rest of it's bullshit. So if you can have one story, it's fine. And in the Orville, in the first season, it didn't look like they were trying to set a story. They were trying to be episodic.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a giant fan of that, as we've talked about with...
Well, that's also
other show
kind
that
of
we
how
watched.
like Star Trek was.
Yeah, I was
yeah.
gonna say it's made to mimic Star Trek.
Which is episodic.
So by the sound of it, you don't like Star Trek.
We've talked about this. We've done a podcast on Star Trek, and I've watched those shows.
And you don't like Star Trek.
Strange New Worlds. Correct.
So that means nobody likes Star Trek.
I didn't say that. If I say it, it's
There's
hyperbole.
No such thing as a
No. Other
Trekkie.
people like it.
They're just
just
dumb.
wrong.
Oh,
Exactly.
yeah.
God,
Stupid
nah,
Trekkies.
we've been doing 21 of these podcasts. You guys are just finally realizing this
No,
stuff?
I realize it, which is why I said I don't really care if you watch season 2 because it won't change your mind because you're entrenched.
You have been trying to get me to watch season 1 for years.
Yeah, and if you don't like it, then I know now I'm not going to be able to change your
Okay.
mind.
So it's now that I've given it a chance.
It's a waste of my time and energy to try to convince you of something that's good because you think it's bad.
And you
know that it's
before
bad.
you've even seen it too.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch it.
Yeah.
I just knew it was going to be episodic and Star Trek, and I don't really like Star Trek. So if you're like, hey, I really like Star Trek, this show is just like it. Well, I don't like Star Trek, so why would I like it? See how it doesn't balance? No balance? All right. Do we have anything more to talk about for the Orville? This is you guys' podcast. You wanted this one.
We hate you.
I'm pretty sure that's
It was
established.
It was very good.
Very good.
So,
As
see, it's hard because if you had actually done your job and watched the whole thing, we could talk about some really cool stuff.
Talk about it. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. All right.
It was good.
So, like, one of my favorite things is obviously the Kalon and how they have the big battle with them, and I thought that was really cool. I assume that was one of your favorite episodes.
I think their sphere spaceships are a little lackluster. I mean, granted, like, they're supposed to be like efficient. You know
Right,
what
I
mean?
think
Like,
it's
they're,
because they operate at a whole nother level, so it can pivot on a dime and like the sphere can turn and
I
shoot
get
in
it.
any
They're just
direction.
lackluster, just floating eyeballs.
Well, I think that's the point. They're machines, so they're not really going for like
Right.
cosmetics.
They're going for efficiency.
right. It's like the Borg in Star Trek.
Those are so cool, though.
It's a square.
Oh, they have other things. They have the spheres. They have
Yeah.
the Borg
Okay,
spheres,
so this is a sphere too.
and it looks fucking cool.
I like how you just said the sphere is lackluster, and then we were talking about the Borg. You're like, they got spheres.
Yeah, but they look cool.
Why? They're just literally the same thing.
I don't know. The Kalon ones just look, I don't know, stupid.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about. I don't like them.
Well, that's fine, but yeah, no.
Because they don't have fucking cubes. That's why. I want some geometric shapes other than spheres. I want some triangles.
Yeah. Fucking throw me a hexagon.
Yeah.
Don't go to an octagon, though. Don't do it.
Oh, the octagon would be sweet.
Yeah. Is that a rectangle or a square? It's both.
But
A square can be a
I
rectangle.
thought you were trying to say an octagon is a rectangle.
No,
and a square.
No. I was just saying, like, we don't know if it's a square or a rectangle, if it's a square shape. So, but anyway.
So there's like some heartfelt moments in the show too that kind of get you, like when I think it's Gordy, right?
Gordon when he
loses his family.
when he goes back in time.
Yeah, and they're like trying to take his family and
Yeah, basically Gordon goes back in time, KJ, as part of it, like an experiment goes awry or something, and he gets
he
Tossed.
is next to the temporal machine,
right,
and he
yeah.
gets transported through time,
Yeah,
and then he spends like 10 years in the past in like nowadays 2021 or whatever.
yeah, falls in love, has kids,
Falls in love with the girl that he met out of the cell phone.
right, and so they go back for him, but because of the way the machine works, it moves forward linearly. So when they finally go back for him, it's 10 years. He's been there for 10 years.
Yeah,
So he
they
gave
couldn't
up on them
precisely go
coming
back
for
in
him.
time.
So at first, they have rules about time travel, like the Union, if it ever happens, so they don't affect the timeline. And so he upheld it for the longest time, and then when he realized nobody was coming for him, he gave up, has kids, they come for him 10 years later, reset the timeline so he never went back in time, and his family's erased, but he's like pleading with them not to do it when they do it. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like at
'cause
the
butterfly
end,
effect, they
right
can't
at the
believe
end,
it.
he doesn't know that he's done that, so
Right,
it kind of like
right. It
doesn't
like
hurt
erased.
so bad. But when he's like pleading with him not to erase his family, like it
Yeah.
kind of hurt a little
Yeah.
bit.
Like he threatens to shoot them. And
Yeah.
they're like, yeah.
He's feeling some type of way about
Do
it.
they remember?
They
They're
do,
gone.
yeah.
Oh, the people from the ship.
Yeah,
they
well,
do.
the captain and Kelly know what.
Yeah,
they
they're
did.
like, hey, by the way, like we had to erase your family. He's like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, you definitely should have.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like because he knows as a Union officer that is what they have to do. But obviously, it's different when you actually have
Sure.
the family and the kids in
And
front
that you
of
spent
you.
10 years with. Like he built a whole life around them.
Yeah. So that was true. And then obviously there's the, I do like the scene when the Mocklins are, so we mentioned earlier, they don't allow females. They genetically alter them into males when they're born. And then
You like the Mocklin,
the old lady.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna like the holodeck one.
Oh,
with all the Mocklin men.
Yeah, with all the no. So
Hey.
the old lady testifies in front of the Union to basically like say we want to start our own civilization away from them. All females would be welcome there and whatnot. But because she's been on the Union ship for like a couple weeks and the captain introduced her to Dolly Parton, she quotes like Dolly Parton's songs in her big meaningful speech. She's like, as a great philosopher, Dolly Parton said, "It's no fair that I've been working 9 to 5 and I'm not getting my dime." Like, it's so good.
Well, she cameos in it.
Dolly Parton, that's true. Yeah, when they come back. Yeah.
She looks old.
Yeah, that's season 2 and 3 is so good for that kind of stuff. It has a lot more like meaningful episodes, I'd say. I'm trying to think of other episodes that I really, really liked.
Well, you have like the evolution of Isaac from like
that's true,
robot to more sentientness to evil-ish.
Yeah.
Like where the whole ship hates him back to redeemed. Yeah. So he has quite like he has a lot of character development, but at the same time he doesn't.
Yeah. I also really like the episode where it's actually one of the more, I think it's like the second to last episode of season 3, when they take Topa to the like facility and are torturing her for information.
Yep.
And then Bortus, obviously it's his kid.
Oh, he goes ham on that guy.
He goes ham.
Oh, yeah.
Just wrecks house.
Yeah, he was cool. Pissed.
Yeah. I like that. But yeah, the episode where the Kalon like take over the ship and like the Yaphet, the blob, goes inside one of the Kalons and like fries him from the inside, but like almost kills himself doing it. Like that was really cool. I love that whole episode, and then like Isaac realizing.
So that's another thing of season 4. If they do a season 4, they're gonna have to do something with Yaphet because Norm Macdonald is deceased now.
Yeah, so I think
because you see in season 3 at the beginning, like the first episode, it says in memoriam to Norm, but I'm assuming all of his voice lines.
He had already recorded all his lines. Yeah. So I think they'll probably just like write him off, probably. Which will suck. Hopefully they'll introduce a new blob character named like Duffid or something.
That's gonna be a purple female.
Yeah,
gotta be.
I also like what's his name?
They do a lot of drinking on the show.
Rob Lowe. Rob Lowe,
the blue alien.
Yeah, so Rob Lowe is a guest star where he's a blue alien that emits
like pheromones
that makes everybody like turned on by him. So Ed falls in love with him and Kelly does, and he's the alien that Kelly slept with that broke up her and Ed in the first part.
I don't think that was in the script. That's just who Rob Lowe is.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well, none of them were 16, so
you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Well, that's Rob Lowe. I mean,
that is
legit.
Like some young.
I love the roast of Rob Lowe where they bring that up and it's like, no, this really happened. Everybody's laughing. It's like, you guys are laughing, but he had sex with an underage girl.
Didn't he do it twice? Pretty
Probably.
Sure it was twice.
I mean, that's recorded. Like that's the accounts. It's probably more than that.
Sure, yes. I mean, 2 that are basically proven.
Yeah. I'm sure there were multiple and probably at the same time.
I mean, he is Rob Lowe.
Yeah.
How low is Rob Lowe?
Apparently pretty fucking low.
I wish there had been an episode of To Catch a Predator with him where he walked in and he was like, why don't you sit down there, Rob Lowe?
Even if there was, we'd never see it.
I know, but it would be hilarious. Those are probably my favorite episodes.
Were there any episodes, like for me, the first few, and how you guys got through the first few is whatever, but in the first few, I got extremely bored out of the story, and it just felt like episodic stuff, and it was trying to be funny, and it wasn't. That's why it got like 30% on reviews. Like, it got horribly panned. I'm surprised it got picked up for season 2. Were there any episodes in season 1, 2, or 3 where you guys are just like, all right, let's just get through this episode so I can get to the next one. This one didn't really do it for me.
I mean, there were episodes more so in season 1 that I didn't love as much, but I don't think I ever was like, oh, this is painful to watch, just like you're saying. Like, I think it was more just... I mean,
it's not just me, it's also the critics, but that's fine.
Okay. Well, anyway, I think it was just there are episodes I didn't like as much. And I think most of the time is because Seth MacFarlane was treading the line of trying to be like give Fox what they said they wanted, which was a comedy in space, and what he actually wanted to do, which was more of a serious storyline at times. So that's why I think season 2 found the groove, and it was probably because Fox just kind of like let it go more. So
You guys both are thinking season 2 and season 3 are better than season 1. Which one is better? The season that was on Fox season 2 or season 3 that was on Hulu? Or are they comparable?
I think season 3 was so far the best. It's like it has better content on it. Like they delve deeper into characters.
yeah, I think it's literally gotten better every season. Season 3, like it's hard though, because I think my favorite episode is probably when the Kalon take over the ship in season 2. But season 3 as a whole, I think, is better.
And do you think that's because it's Hulu? Or just a better story?
I think it just got better. Like, it's just about them developing a little bit. And probably Hulu helped because, again, they changed some of the cosmetics of the show and the CGI. Like, Isaac looks cooler, in my opinion, his costume and stuff. So
Yeah. They have, like, the new shuttles and stuff, too. The shuttles are completely different.
Yeah, they have the fighter.
Well, even, like, the regular, like, shuttles themselves, they don't look like the Star Trek Next Generation shuttles anymore.
So those are cool aesthetics, but do those help the show overall in you guys'
Well,
mind?
they make it look more, like...
realistic?
Well, I don't know. They just make it look like more sci-fi, and rather than, like, cookie-cutter box spaceships from 1992.
And so for you, that helps you with the whole experience of the
Yeah.
show. Okay. It's the same thing with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I also just think that the overall stories in season 3 were better anyway.
So if another show, not Seth MacFarlane, not whatever, another sci-fi show came out that was going to be like an episodic space journey type show, just hearing that, does that interest both of you?
Yeah.
Like if any of those come out, you're already interested, let's go see what it is?
I've given most of them a shot, even the ones on Sci-Fi. Like, there's a pretty cool one called Dark Matter.
I was going to say Dark Matter.
It was good, yeah.
The Expanse.
I need to get into
The Expanse is so good.
I need to watch it because I kept starting it and then it would like change what it was streaming on, and so
didn't that get canceled or then repicked up by like Amazon or something?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. It's over. I think it's on its 5th season, and it's done now.
Well,
But
yeah,
it's
but
based
it
on
was
a
like
really
season
good
1
book
got
series. It's on a book,
canceled.
yeah.
Yeah, it's based on a really popular book series. It's kind of cool. The thing I think I'm gonna like
Spoiler
about it.
alert, one of the main characters, they delete him.
Why are you spoiling this?
Spoiler alert. They delete him.
Spoiler alert! Frodo throws the ring in the mountain.
I'm just saying. That's
Just
one of the main
ruin the
characters. Now you don't know.
end.
But anyway, so the thing I think I'm gonna like about that show is it's a little bit. It's not like you couldn't believe that eventually we'll get to a stage like Star Trek where we're exploring, but the Expanse is more like we've settled on Mars and the Moon, which are much more within our reach at this point, and it's more about the.
Well, the asteroid belt, too.
Well, I haven't watched it all. Like I saw one episode. That's
One
what I'm saying.
episode, you have the faction called the Belters.
I can't remember this. It was like 4 years ago.
Oh,
I'm
that's
surprised I
really
remembered that they had the Mars and the Moon colony.
good. Yeah.
But then it's about
Mars,
the
the
politics between them all
and the
because they've
Belters.
had like wars fought between them basically. So, I feel like that is what would happen. I feel like Mars would or the Moon might become a utopia versus Earth, which has been ravaged. And
It's called Luna.
Oh, my bad.
It's no longer the moon.
Well, that's never mind. This is completely an impossible storyline here. What's Mars called?
Mars.
Oh, that's
They don't change the name of
They
Mars.
just
How
changed
dare
the
you?
name of the moon. I mean, I know Luna is like Latin, but I'm just saying like why.
So Luna is a territory of the Earth. So the Earth still controls the moon, controls Luna.
Yeah.
And then Mars is now the like Martian Federation or something like that.
Yeah.
Martian Army something Federation. They're more like very army based, like strict.
Militarized.
Yeah, everyone there has to serve. If you don't serve, you have to like have some sort of purpose on Mars. They don't have much of like a social security network kind of deal.
Yeah.
Like you have to you have to pay your own way.
That sounds great.
Earth is very like either you're very impoverished, like poor, or you're an upper class person. There's like no middle. And like all the funds from money gains from Mars and the belt all go to the Earth, and that's why the Belters don't like they call them Earthers. They don't
How'd
like
they come
them.
up with that?
Yeah, I know. The Belters
I'm
Belters
from
have
the
like
Belt.
a super weird accent that they like speak like they're from like South Africa. De Belters.
The Beltas.
De Belters. So yeah, Expanse is really good. I like that.
All right, so is there anything else that you guys want to talk about Orville-wise? We died it good.
I think it's actually great.
Do you, though?
I actually do like it a lot. Yeah, it's great. I look forward to watching it every time there's a new episode.
Mike, any closing thoughts on the Orville?
It was at least good.
At least?
For sure,
Okay.
yeah.
Would you say it was like very good?
Oh, it's definitely very good.
Okay. Exceedingly good?
Great in the later seasons, but if you put it as a 1, 2, and 3, it would have to be a very good.
Yeah, I think that's on a scale from not good to very good. It's definitely a very good.
Oh no, from the scale of not good to amazing.
How many goods up does it get?
It gets 3 goods.
Oh,
Out of 100.
yeah. Oh,
That's basically what season 1 got.
yeah. Well, I just want to tell all you people out there that KJ's wrong about most things, and you should probably give it a shot.
Yes.
Also, there's this
me
blob
and the
in it.
critics.
How can we have this episode without me talking about the blob?
You
Hold
have
on.
talked about
No,
the
no, no.
blob.
I need to talk about why the blob's important and significant.
He's not.
Because they've talked about this. Actual scientists have watched the show and said the one thing we really like about this show is that they show people that aren't humanoid in nature, like the blob, because that's probably what we would experience when we meet alien life for the first time.
I swear to God, you have Alzheimer's, dementia, or something like that.
KJ,
You said this.
I know. That's why I'm saying it now.
Why do we keep saying it?
Because I've said it on other episodes. I have to say it on this one about the show.
I don't know.
How did you not understand that's what I was doing?
Because it's you, and usually you forget when you say things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
KJ's cranky today.
No,
Yeah.
I just expected him to be the exact Corey
If I was that
know.
wrong about a show, I'd be a little upset too. But.
I'll side with me and the critics for season 1.
And what about for season 2?
I'm going to give it a shot. I will give it a shot.
And if you don't like it, you're wrong because the critics disagree with you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
no, the critics.
Oh.
Wait, no. Yes.
The
'cause
critics!
Critics like season 2. So, yes,
Yeah.
if I don't like it, I'm wrong.
I accept this.
Okay.
I accept these stakes.
But I thought you didn't care. Wasn't that just 5 minutes ago?
I didn't care
deliberately
about
didn't
you enjoying the show or not. I care about
me
you being
being
wrong.
wrong.
And that, no, it's not even that I care about you being wrong. I care about you
Knowing
admitting
that you're wrong.
wrong because you never do.
If it helps, if I am wrong, I'll just cut it out of the podcast. It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
I'm the one who
you
has
already did that
control.
once.
Even if he doesn't or doesn't like it, he's going to not or
it was
will like it.
What was the thing I predicted? That he was like, "Oh, it wasn't exactly right." And he-
I wasn't exactly right. And that's still in the podcast.
See, he can't admit he's wrong.
The critics, Corey.
Yeah.
K.
The critics.
Corey. K. Corey.
I was going to say KJ.
Yeah. See? We're spitting images of each other. You're welcome.
Oh God. Maybe in a funhouse mirror.
Ah, what a prick. All right.
That's what they tell me.
Just a little prick.
All right, so that'll wrap up this episode. Next week, we're going to be talking, it's going to be our first Halloween episode. We're going to be talking about Evil Dead. Then the week after, we're going to be doing our version of Riff Tracks, where we're going to be talking about some terrible horror movies. Then our third Halloween special is going to be later, at probably the end of October, which will be about the Halloween party contest that we're going to do. But yeah, so next week will all be about Evil Dead.